Here in front of me is my brand new Giant Propel Advanced Pro Zero 2024 road bike. Hi guys, I'm Tommy, welcome back to the channel. By the end of this video, I'm hoping to have persuaded you to go out and buy one of these incredible road bikes for yourself. I would like to start off by saying that this video is not sponsored by Giant, however that would be a goal for the future for sure. So let's start off by talking about the colour. So as you can see, the bike consists of blue, white and black, and a bit red from my light. It fades from a lovely deep blue into a black, and on the top tube it goes from the deep blue into a really nice pearly pure white. So the logos on the down tube here and on the top tube also consist of that white, which is really nice because it really makes the text pop, which I think is a really nice touch. In the black coloured section of the bike at the back, there are signs of exposed carbon, which is fantastic. I love the look of that, especially when you get the light on it. I find that bikes that are coloured black don't have enough texture to them, which is why I've gone for this bold, vibrant bike. I'm now going to move on to the overall look of the bike and the different shapes there are. So at the front here, we have got some little lines that kind of stick out of the sides of the frame, which direct airflow to the back of the bike, making it more aero, because of course the Propel is the aerodynamic version. I like the speedy bikes. They are rather fun to ride, especially on the flat, because, you know, you want to get that average speed up. I'm just in love with this bike. At the back of the bike here, we have got the housing of the seat tube tightening bolt mechanism thingy, and obviously on the Giant Propel SL models, they do not have this kind of diagonal looking piece. That is because obviously the clamp is located on the top of the seat mast, because the seat mast is integrated and part of the frame itself on those models. But I can't afford one of those, so I've got the next best one in my opinion. Moving down slightly lower, we've got a lovely cutout in the seat tube area, which is far more attractive in my opinion. However, the Scott foil, the brand new Scott foil, I think they've kind of slightly overdone that a bit. It looks a little bit too much. However, this one is just perfect. For the rear triangle, we've got some very thin tubing, which is slightly aero, but it's a bit like the new Tarmac SL8. It's not designed so aero, and it's made to keep the weight down. I did look at a SL8, SL7 and 8. However, I just don't really like the look of them. They just look a little bit too small, if that makes sense. I like the bulkiness of an aero bike and also the speed of it too. Moving on to the spec of the bike. This bike comes with the Ultegra Di2 R8100 group set, which I adore. The shifts are super quick and ridiculously smooth. I went from the previous generation of Ultegra Di2 to this one, and oh my days, can you notice a difference? It is absolutely impeccable, completely flawless. The only thing that I have noticed is a slight buzzing sensation through the pedals. I managed to kind of sort that out a bit by tweaking the limit screws, etc. So I still need to kind of get that perfect. But with the new Di2 group set, the shifters are obviously wireless. As a result, makes shifting a lot quicker, like I said. So the reason why the shifting is smoother and quicker is because Shimano have redesigned their cassettes and chains with a hyperglide kind of system, which means that the teeth are rounded slightly. On the sides, they ramp down, and this means that the chain far more smoothly. And also, on each individual link of the chain, you can see these little rounded sections on the outer parts of each link, which smoothen out the shifts and also makes pedaling a lot smoother. The bike comes with a 30 to 11 tooth cassette and a 52-36 chain set. So this means that the bike is very good on the flats, so it's very fast, but also it is still definitely what you could call a hill climb bike, because this bike is incredibly light. It weighs 7.4 kilos, without pedals of course. However, if you think that is half a kilo lighter than a Trek Madone, which is my previous bike. That's the only kind of one that I can kind of relate it to. For an aero bike, 7.4 kilos, for not even the best spec of the Giant Propel, that is incredible in my opinion. So although the shifters are wireless, there are still cables running from the shifter down to each caliper because of the hydraulic hoses. What I really like is the fact that the hoses are not visible. So this bike is cheaper than my previous Trek Madone, okay? The Trek Madone did not come with internal cable routing. Well, it did, but it didn't. It still had cables showing from the handlebars going into the bottom of the headset, if that makes sense. Whereas this lovely bike comes with an internal routing stem. The hydraulic hoses go from the shifter through the bars into the stem into the bike, so they're not visible, which I love. On the topic of handlebars, this bike does come with 42 centimeter wide carbon handlebars. They are aero. However, the only downside so far that I've found for this bike is the fact that you can't opt for a different sized handlebar, which means that I've gone for my old Prime Primavera carbon aero bars, which are 40 centimeter wide. That means I've got a £350 pair of handlebars at home I'm going to sell. It's a bit annoying because those bars, although they're 2 centimeters wider than these handlebars, they're still lighter. So I would have loved to have a slightly narrower set of handlebars. That's the only thing that I can fault so far on this bike. In regards of the wheel sets, they are a lovely set of wheels, okay? So 50mm wheels front and back, and they are also tubeless. So one thing that I really like about these wheels, where the actual valve comes through the rim of the wheel, it may look a little bit bulky. However, this is specially designed so that there is no rattling going on between the valve and the rim itself, and creates a nice seal for the tubeless system too. So these specific wheels are Giant SLR1 wheels, obviously made of carbon fibre, and the rubber on these wheels are Cadex tyres, that obviously tubeless, like I said. So far, I haven't had an issue. The tread seems to be lasting a decent amount of time, so the tyres aren't too fragile, which is good. So I find that the tyres that come with a new bike don't tend to be as good as other tyres like Vittoria and Pirelli tyres. This can be a bit annoying because it means that you have to take these tyres off to then put the Pirellis on, which I might do in the future, I won't lie. For now, these tyres are fine. One thing I forgot to mention about the chain set is the fact that it's a dual-side power meter, which is fantastic. And like I said, the bike weighs 7.4 kilos and it's got a power meter on it. So the power meter is obviously going to increase the weight. So if you think about it, that's incredible. Moving to the top of the bike again, we've got a Giant Fleet seat. That sounds quite cool, doesn't it? Anyway, I believe that this is made out of carbon fibre. Just by looking at the materials used, it's got that almost like raw carbon texture to it. I might be wrong. That might just be plastic coloured to make it look like that, but I think that's cool. And also, as you can see, I've got spacers on top of the stem. Now these are going to get cut, so this part will look a little bit less messy because it does look a little bit kind of too much going on. That's going to get sorted. Last but not least, I think I'm going to talk about the bottle cages, which I love. They are carbon bottle cages. They hold bottles so nicely. They are the best water bottle cages I've ever had in my life. Whilst they are not difficult to get a water bottle in to the bike, like so, they do not allow the bottles to rattle around inside them. I know there's been a lot of talk about bottle cages that are made out of carbon fibre not holding water bottles properly, and when you go over a pothole, especially during a race, the bottles bounce out. I haven't had that yet. Yes, I've blinking mosquito. I haven't had that happen yet, but I'm just going to demonstrate to you how good these bottle cages are. So I think I've finished talking about this because right now I'm going to kick the stick out of the way. No, maybe not. Okay. Anyway, right. Look at this. I'm going to make sure the bottles are like that. Those bottles are not coming out anytime soon. That is great. I'm going to take this. Oh, I've just realised I've got the wrong lube on my chain. Oh, no. I've got dry lube on my chain. It's raining. That's fantastic. Hopefully, when I do the onboard footage now, it's not going to be squeaking. So I'm going to set off now, and I will see you in a minute.
Mate, I've got the worst microphone thing ever. So this thing has just started wobbling around. It's broke in my pocket. So yeah, no mic from now on.
The rain has decided to come, even though the weather app said that there will be no rain at all until 6 o'clock this evening, which is fantastic. But review time. Now that I'm on the bike and riding it, my first impressions, like right now, are very, very comfortable. My hands feel like they are not getting too much vibration or buzzing through them, which is really nice because I've experienced buzzing through my wrist before, especially my left one, and yeah, it got quite stiff. But on this bike, not so much, which is really good. My saddle is a little bit uncomfortable, okay? I might change that in the future. It's just about bearable at the moment, so that's good. But yeah, you have to kind of get out the saddle every now and then to kind of get the blood flowing again. Just changing the front chainring. So another reason why this bike is so comfy to ride, okay, is because it's got tubeless tyres, which I was kind of scared to change from tubes to tubeless. So I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't really know much about the maintenance side of things. And I didn't really kind of know how easy they were to kind of sort at the moment, because back in the day they're a bit of a pig apparently. But now that I've got tubeless, it means that I can get away with riding at really low pressures. So normally I'd be riding 80 psi on my previous bike, and on the Giant I am riding 70 psi front and back, which means that it just smoothens out any of the imperfections and bumps in the road, and just makes the whole journey of each ride far more enjoyable, rather than just feeling like you're just getting every kind of feeling from the road through your hands, your wrists, your feet and your bum. That can be quite uncomfortable. I just want to point out the view in the New Forest right now is fantastic. This bike just feels really special to ride. It just feels quick on the flat, like I said, and also just breezes up hills as well. Like the front end isn't too stiff. When I was going up hills on my Madone, it felt quite stiff, like the bike wouldn't flow left and right when I was out the saddle. Whereas this one, it kind of just, wherever you point it, the bike just goes there. A final thing before I round this video up, the wheels sound fantastic too. Like, so much louder than my previous wheel set, which was the Bontrager Alias Pro 51s. Overall, I love this bike to bits. I highly recommend, if you're looking for a good bike, get a Giant Propel. Like, you will not regret it at all. It's a perfect all-rounder. Please make sure that you drop a like, share, and most important of all, subscribe. And drop a comment. The comments help me decide what to do next. They let me know what you want to see, so that you kind of don't get bored of seeing things that you already know or don't really need to see. So yeah, do that. That would mean a lot. Have a great rest of your day. If you're indoors, I hope you're warm. I hope you're cozy, because I'm out here in the elements, wet, cold, and yeah, loving life. So I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching.